Is celibacy a biblical requirement for church leadership? Well, no, it isn't. Such a requirement actually lacks biblical, historical, and theological support. First, consider the biblical qualifications for church leaders. In 1 Timothy 3:2, Paul stipulates that an overseer must be the husband of one wife, above reproach, temperate, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, and able to teach. And Titus 1:6 echoes this, requiring elders to be the husband of one wife with faithful children. These criteria not only permit marriage, but presuppose it, emphasizing a leader's ability to manage a household as a prerequisite for church governance. As 1 Timothy 3:4-5 clarifies, he must manage his own household well, for if someone does not know how to manage his own household, how will he care for God's church? These passages establish marriage as normal for church leadership. The example of the apostles further undermines the claim of mandatory celibacy. Catholic proponents often cite Jesus' celibacy and the apostles as models. While Jesus' celibacy reflects his unique messianic vocation, it does not prescribe a universal rule for clergy. Notably, Matthew 8:14 records Jesus healing Peter's mother-in-law, indicating that Simon Peter, whom Catholics regard as the first pope, was married. In 1 Corinthians 9:5, Paul asserts that he and other apostles, including Cephas, that's Peter, had the right to take a believing wife, suggesting that marriage was practiced among apostolic leaders. Thus, the apostolic example does not support a celibacy mandate. Scripture also frames celibacy as a voluntary gift, not a requirement. In 1 Corinthians 7:7-9, Paul writes, "Each has his own gift from God, one of one kind and one of another. To the unmarried, it is good for them to remain single, as I am. But if they cannot exercise self-control, they should marry." Similarly, in Matthew 19:11-12, Jesus describes those who make themselves eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom, but qualifies this with, "Let the one who is able to receive this receive it." These texts present celibacy as a personal calling, not a prerequisite for ministry. Marriage, ordained by God in Genesis 1:28, remains a divinely sanctioned state. A critical scriptural concern arises in 1 Timothy 4:3, which warns against those who forbid marriage and require abstinence from foods that God created. From a Protestant perspective, mandating celibacy for clergy risks aligning with this prohibition, as it restricts marriage for those called to ministerial service, potentially contradicting Paul's affirmation of marriage as a safeguard against temptation.